Madam Chair, we're also, we're looking. The key role of an accessible city is to support the recovery plan itself. So the reprioritisation that we've recommended to you today, we believe is the transport programme that best fits those early anchor projects and best supports them. There will be consultation, of course, over the details of those projects, just as I outlined earlier, as far as Salisbury Street's concerned, in terms of the detail of how that is delivered. But also, I think our understanding around the transport network and the shape of it is that the business and development community are also looking for clarity around what we are doing and when. And we believe the other benefit of this first phase programme is to give the business community absolute clarity about what we do intend to deliver and when. So if you are looking at a development off of Chewham Street, for instance, we can give businesses and developers there a much better line of sight as to when that conversion will happen.
Yep. Phil?
The additional 15 million for Kilmore and Salisbury, is that included in this year's annual plan?
We have no funding for those two. That's why we're proposing they not get done in this first phase.
In full form.
Is funding in the first priority chapter of the accessible transport plan for Kilmore Street? How much is it?
That was scheduled at around 6.2 million to do a full conversion of it. So as I said earlier, the bulk of the costs for that would be at
some
the
of it's included, and some.
You're being asked to take it out.
To reallocate it to Chewham conversion, Durham to Madras, Litchfield Street to Manchester to Oxford, and Colombo Street, Hereford to St Asaph.
Yeah, correct. But the question I had around consultation, and probably wasn't clear enough, but so normally we do a draft 3-year plan or an annual plan, and we would have a series of capital projects, and we agree to the community, these are the projects we're doing, give us feedback, and they do. And so you might have Cambridge Terrace in one case that wanted to have road improvements, and you'll have another street, Mackenzie Ave, that's also put on the 5-year program, and it's going to be done at a later stage. And the community can say, actually bring Mackenzie forward because it's got flooding. We don't think Cambridge is the priority right now. What we're doing with this is effectively making changes to a program without any public consultation.
Did we consult on the first phase, on what went into the first phase?
They were in the capital. They were in the 3-year program, but they may have been done as a...
The cost share wasn't. The cost share was signed three or 4 days before the council agreed to its 3-year plan, and any amendments to the 3-year plan based on the cost share were ruled out of order by the Mayor. So despite the fact that public made submissions, they had no opportunity to make comment on the cost share, and in fact any amendments to deal with the concerns that were raised were not allowed to be
So the answer is no.
So the answer is no.
This was not consulted on.
No, and neither are the 4 new projects that are being brought forward.
Well, but if it wasn't consulted on because it was out of order, then how can I rule anything other than that here? I mean, it just seems to me. I mean, look, I think we've come to a point where there's a disagreement.
So can I make an amendment then? Is that probably to get some clarity? I'm really glad to hear that we were going to have this briefing on the 19th, and I really do want to defer this report until after we've had the briefing on the 19th.
Network elements. It's going to deal with the parking plan, the retail precinct, and picking up on the Mayor's point, any other parking stuff that we know about. These are the fundamental first phase projects to support the delivery of the recovery plan and those key anchor projects. I think it's from my perspective, it's as simple as that. This is simply being pragmatic about getting the best mix of works for the $72 million that is there.
So you want to lie on the table until the next council meeting?
Until the council's had the briefing on the 19th of May.
Well, no, the next council meeting would be,
next council.
if that's what you want. Does anyone want to second that? Phil? But I'm just... eh?
I'm clear that's for both of these reports.
Now, I want to know whether there is any time sensitivity around resolving this. I mean, does it have to be resolved today or can it wait till next week?
It's certainly time sensitive, Madam Chair, and the fact that we're looking to go out and consult as soon as possible,
Right.
because we've got the interchange opening in a year's time, and to be honest, we're going to be struggling to get the works done by the time that's open. So
Would it seriously delay things if it was the council meeting next week that made the decision on this?
no.
Is it the next meeting, the 22nd?
22nd? Isn't that next week?
It would be the week after. No, yeah, next week, yeah.
It is next week.
Yeah.
And see, this year's going much more quickly than we realise.
Look, can I just go back to the information that Mike gave us in relation to what that briefing will have, in relation to things like, Mike mentioned things like parking, for example, but it's, in terms of, I just wonder if we could still have some overview of this accessible transport plan, because it's things like parking that obviously impacts on traffic flow and all that kind of thing. So I don't know if the staff would be able to bring some key concepts of where the accessible city is at to that briefing. Would there be time so that for the next council meeting we can be more fully informed?
Through you, Madam Chair, the intention for the briefing on the 19th was to show Council exactly how the parking plan interleaves with the accessible city plan, and how the two things tie together. I would just say over the consultation over this, the accessible city was consulted by SERA with the community between November of 2012.
I don't think we'll go there. There are many of us who have a view about that.
Yeah, I mean, so I was speaking to Mike at the back there from Sarah. So yes, if we can, he thinks there's some material we can sort of provide you to. I don't even know who it is. So yes, if we can get a bit more time on Monday, provided the 19th does happen, yet we will present you an overall picture. We probably won't have time to debate that in detail, but I'll try and give you that overview, and probably timely to do that in the light of how this program of Transport Works has evolved, and then we'll drill down into the retail precinct and the parking plan.
Yeah, okay.
So
Well, look,
then
then I don't need to put the amendment. I'll just rule that this can lie on the table until the council meeting next week.
Can I just clarify, the briefing on the 19th, I thought we were actually meeting with Sarah on a range of other things on the 19th.
I think the 19th, from memory, has, and this is all dependent on the council not having its that date not being taken up with annual plan hearings. But I think we were going to discuss the Ministry of Health Hospital Development. We were going to discuss yes. We're going to discuss that. We were going to discuss retail precinct, and I think there was a stage 2 presentation on the Metro Sports Facility.
So, as I understood it, at the last presentation on the Metro Sports Facility, Council has asked for a 2.5-hour briefing on Metro Sports, performing arts and various other things, and that was what we'd asked for on the 19th.
We'll go away and conclude what the 19th, but
Okay.
what I'm also hearing is transport's a priority on the 19th, so the 19th might be a very long day.
Yep.
So
All right,
we'll do that.
so that's okay? Good?
Comes.
All right, so that's okay. So I'll do that, and we'll let that report lie on the table. I think we need to now move the resolution to exclude